Jonathan S. Whitmore was not the kind of man who knocked twice. He owned 12 apartment buildings across the city, 3 car dealerships, and half the commercial real estate along Monroe Avenue. He was precise, cold, efficient. Rent was due on the 1st, late by the 5th, eviction by the 10th, no exceptions. On February 6th, his assistant brought him a folder, apartment 3B, Blue Ridge Estates, behind on rent by 6 weeks. Tenant: Rebecca Collins, one dependent. Jonathan frowned. Again? Same unit, same woman. His assistant tapped the paper. Claims she's been sick, didn't provide documentation. Jonathan checked his watch. I'll go down there myself. His driver blinked. You? Sir, we can just post the notice. I want to see who thinks they can dodge my rules. By 3:15 p.m., his black Cadillac pulled into the cracked parking lot of Blue Ridge Estates. It smelled like wet concrete and old laundry. He stepped over a broken scooter on the walkway and climbed the stairs to 3B, raised a gloved fist, knocked once. The door creaked open, no chain, no lock, just a little voice behind it. Hello? A girl, maybe 7, maybe 8, big brown eyes, face thin, hands folded in front of her like she was in trouble already. Is your mother home? She shook her head. She went to get medicine. Jonathan adjusted his scarf. Tell her the owner came. Rent's overdue. She needs to call my office. The girl didn't move, just looked at his coat, at his watch, at the shoes that didn't belong in a place like this. Then she said, Do you want to come in? It's cold. Jonathan paused. Something in her voice wasn't begging, just polite, quiet. He didn't know why, but he stepped inside. The apartment was clean, old but clean. A small heater hummed near the couch. The girl pointed to a chair. You can sit there. Mom doesn't like guests standing. Jonathan sat, stiff, out of place. What's your name? Tessa. How old are you? Almost 8. He looked around. Crayons on the floor, half a sandwich on a plate, a blanket shaped like a unicorn. Where's your father? Tessa blinked. Don't have one. Silence. Then she added without shame. It's just us. And the neighbor, Miss Carroll. Sometimes she helps. Jonathan tapped the envelope in his coat. Eviction notice, ready, legal. But he didn't hand it over. Something, he didn't know what, held him still. Then the door opened. Heavy, slow. A woman stepped in. Not old, maybe early 30s, but worn. Her face was partially wrapped in gauze, one arm in a sling, one leg dragging slightly. She froze when she saw him. Tessa, why is there a man? Tessa stood. He's the building boss, but he's nice. The woman's eyes hardened. She stepped forward, winced. Jonathan stood. Ms. Collins, I'm Jonathan Whitmore. This is your apartment? She nodded slowly. It is, or it was. We're late, I know, but She swayed slightly, held onto the doorframe. Jonathan's voice came out sharper than he meant. You've been late before. Your rent history is unstable. If you can't... She cut him off. I was burned. Silence. She unwrapped the gauze just enough to show angry red skin. Raw, healing. Factory fire, 2 months ago. I worked nights at the textile plant. Electrical malfunction. I saved 2 coworkers. Didn't make it out fast enough myself. Tessa added softly, She's a hero, but heroes don't get paychecks. Jonathan stood there, holding his eviction notice, holding his reputation, holding his silence, and for the first time in 20 years he folded the paper and put it back in his coat. I'll be in touch. He left without another word, drove back to his high-rise office, sat behind his marble desk, and stared out the window. At nothing. The next day, Jonathan didn't go to the office. He didn't check the stock report, didn't return calls. He sat on the balcony of his penthouse, watching the city pulse below him. But in his mind, he saw only Tessa's eyes, and the burns on Rebecca's face. That night, he called someone he hadn't spoken to in years. Sarah, it's me. His sister. You remember when we were kids? How Mom used to take in boarders after Dad left? Silence. Then, we didn't have much, but we shared what we had. Jonathan exhaled. Maybe I forgot that somewhere. 2 days later, he returned to Blue Ridge Estates. No Cadillac, no coat. He knocked softly. Rebecca answered, startled. This time, Tessa peeked out from behind her leg. Jonathan smiled gently. I didn't come to collect anything. I came to ask a favor. They invited him in. Tea was offered. Rebecca still moved slowly, the burns healing but painful. Tessa sat with a book on the floor. Jonathan cleared his throat. I've looked over your file. You never missed rent until the accident. Rebecca nodded. We were doing okay. I worked double shifts, saved a little. But the fire took it all. She sipped tea. I didn't ask for help because people like you don't usually offer it. Jonathan looked at her. That's fair. Then he set an envelope on the table. The debt is cleared. No eviction. Rent's covered for the next year. Rebecca's eyes widened. I can't accept that. You're not. It's not a gift. He pulled out another folder. It's an offer. I have a fund for low-income tenants who show character. You qualify, not because of pity, because you showed more grit than most CEOs I've met. She hesitated. Why are you doing this? He glanced at Tessa, then back at Rebecca. Because your daughter looked at me like I wasn't a monster, and that scared me more than anything. Over the next month, Jonathan returned often. He brought groceries once, not as charity, but as a guest. He and Tessa played chess. He helped Rebecca navigate the healthcare forms. Eventually, she healed, got part-time work at a community center. Tessa's grades soared, and the apartment that once felt cold now glowed with warmth. One day, Jonathan brought a small wooden box. Inside, a letter and a key. What's this? Rebecca asked. That's your new address. She froze. No, I told you. I'm not taking handouts. Jonathan nodded. It's not a handout, it's a partnership. You'll manage a new housing project I'm opening. Affordable, secure, for single mothers. He paused. I need someone I can trust. Someone who's lived it. Someone who knows what help really means. Rebecca's hands trembled. Tears welled in her eyes. She whispered, Thank you. He smiled. No, thank her. He pointed at Tessa. She's the one who saved me. 6 months later, the first units opened. The sign above the entrance read, The Tessa Rose Foundation, Homes Built with Heart. Jonathan never missed a weekend visit. He stopped wearing cufflinks, started asking people's names, stopped collecting rent, started investing in people, because one little girl looked up at the richest man in the room and saw something worth saving. Thank you for watching. If you want to get more that kind of stories, press like and check out our channel.